Multiplication Phase 2, Method 2. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to use arrays to multiply. Look at this example. In this example, there are 2 rows. Let's count them. 1, 2. You will also notice that there are 4 columns. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. Now, this array represents 2 times 4. We always start with the rows, so that's why we start with 2 and we multiply by the columns. To get the answer, you must count the total number of objects in the array. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, 2 rows multiplied by 4 columns, the answer will be 8. Well done. Now let's look at what happens when the array is turned on its side. The number of columns is now 2 and the number of rows is now 4. We always start with the rows, so this is now representing 4 rows and 2 columns. And the multiplication sentence should be 4 times 2. Now, let's count the total number of objects in that array. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You will notice that the answer does not change. That's very important in multiplication, to know that the order of numbers that you are multiplying does not affect the answer. It doesn't change the answer. Well done. Now you are ready for the independent task. Listen carefully to the instructions. Look at each array and write a multiplication sentence to match it. Remember to always start with the number of rows. Well done. Good luck. Now let's look at the independent task answers. Number 1, the array on number 1 showed 3 multiplied by 5, and the answer is 15. Number 2 showed 4 rows multiplied by 2 columns, and the answer is 8. Number 3 showed 4 rows multiplied by 5 columns, and the answer is 20. Number 4 showed 6 rows multiplied by 3 columns, and the answer is 18. Number 5 showed 3 rows multiplied by 4 columns, and if you count the total number of objects in that array, the answer is 12. If you got everything right, well done. If you made any mistakes, go back to the example, study it, and try the independent task again. If you got it right, you are ready to move on to the challenge activity. Now listen carefully. The challenge activity requires you to actually draw the array to represent the multiplication. Like for example, number 1, 3 times 3. You need to draw an array to show 3 times 3. Good luck. Now let's look at the answers to the challenge activity. Remember, you're supposed to draw arrays to show the multiplication sentence. Number 1, 3 times 3 would look like 3 rows and 3 columns. And if you counted the total number of objects in that array, they should be 9. Number 2 was 3 times 5, so your array would have 3 rows and 5 columns. And if you counted the total number of objects, it would be 15. Number 3, 4 times 3 would be 4 rows and 3 columns, and if you counted the objects, there would be 12 objects. Number 4 was a bit tricky. It's requiring you to think, what number would you multiply by 5 to get 20? So you know 5 is representing the number of columns. Now, how many rows would you need to end up with a total of 20? So if you made 4 rows, you were right, because that will count to a total of 20. Number 5, the task was you have 2 rows and a total number of objects of 12. How many columns do you need? So if you figured out that you would need 6 columns and 2 rows to get 12, that is fantastic. If you got everything right, well done. It means you are ready to move on. If you got anything or you're confused a little bit, go back and revise before you move on. Well done and good luck.